Hi, my name is Will Nunziata, and I'm a New York City-based director and creator of theater, television, and film, and I'm also a proud FENIX Global Artist Ambassador. Today, I am so excited to be speaking with the award-winning, world-renowned organist, pianist, and composer, Mark Herman. For more on Mark, you can go to his bio right below this video, but in the meantime, here's a sneak peek at Mark's amazing work. Mark, how are you?
Hey, Will, I'm doing great.
Oh, Mark, it is so nice to officially meet you, but I've been reading all about you these past few weeks, and my gosh, you are incredibly accomplished for how young you are. You're a world-renowned organist, a pianist, film composer, composition composer. You also do consulting because you just love giving back to the world. You do it all. Where are you from, Mark? And when did you know you had this knack for music?
Well, I'm originally from Indiana, from Fort Wayne, Indiana. And really, I started being musical, I guess, from a very early age. I mean, I have pictures of me sitting on my grandma's lap at the piano at, I don't know, 7 or 8 months old. And lots of photos of me from my earliest years. I had this magnetic attractions, gravitational pull to anything with a keyboard. So then I started playing by ear and making things up, and it gradually got into piano lessons and organ lessons, and just all went downhill from there.
Well, downhill, and I love that the piano is still behind you. I love it. And I want to know, though, because in researching you, Mark, I mean, you are the youngest ever winner of the American Theater Organ Society's Organist of the Year. You've toured the world and the country. And I'm just so curious, for someone as young as you are, who's an old soul, I mean, I can relate to that. How did you become affiliated with the organ? And what is it about that instrument that not only initially drew you to it, but why you still love it?
Well, of course, I love piano and I play piano, and I've also always been attracted to big orchestral sounds. Think of big film scores, the big classics of especially all the romantic composers like Tchaikovsky or Rachmaninoff. And when I encountered the organ, I probably didn't know Rachmaninoff's name back then, but I liked the big sound. And then when I encountered the theatrical organ, which is very much different from what you hear in a church, I realized that, oh, you can play orchestral music, you can play Broadway music, and you can do all this stuff with just one person. So while on piano, you have 88 keys and you can do an awful lot to versatile instrument, you cannot really be a full symphony orchestra like you can with a theater organ. And I also realized that theater organs aren't really that well known these days. They were a very big thing in the 1920s during the silent film era, right. But they've been largely forgotten about. And it's been fun through the pandemic to get onto YouTube and to Facebook Live and actually introduce a lot of people to that. I've had several people start following me that never even knew that instrument existed. So it's great to be able to introduce people to it.
Well, you're looking at one, look, I always thought that the organ, was just one instrument, but the theater organ being a very specific organ. And on top of that, Mark, I was tuning in, I was lurking in on one of your Facebook Lives to see what you did and how you did it. And my goodness, you mentioned the whole orchestral sound, but you're like you become a one-man orchestra. And I love that whole notion, Mark, especially, in addition, obviously, to your playing, you compose for film. And I just love the idea of, the epic scale of the theater organ up against what might be like an intimate romantic story, that dichotomy. And that's kind of what drew, you know, people toward back then and today to like those silent films, old school storytelling of epic music, intimate stories. Is that something that you see yourself continuing to develop and create?
Yeah, well, so I do a lot of silent film accompaniment, and that's always during live performance. And it's great because I can compose these scores. They can be compiled scores or a mixture of all that. So they're sort of period authentic, but I also get to do a lot of composition and match action to music. And I've been very lucky to have some opportunities to get involved in modern film stuff in a fairly minor role, but it's exciting to me nonetheless. You know, I would love to get more into that just because I love writing music and creating a soundtrack for something. But no, I think probably the neatest thing was there was a film came out a couple of years ago called House with a Clock in Its Walls. And my friend Nate Barr wrote the score for that, really brilliant score. And it starred Jack Black and Cate Blanchett. And
you know, Jack Black, Cate Blanchett,
yeah.
two up and comers.
Yeah, exactly. It was a Universal picture, so it was a big deal. And it was a great, you know, kind of oddball film. But Nate restored this Wurlitzer Theater pipe organ for his new studio. And we were able to work together to integrate it into the film. And then I got to actually do a end credits suite where it's just me at the organ. And that's pretty cool because, you know, opening night, we went down to Grauman's Chinese Theater and sat there in the big, you know, gorgeous movie palace and got to hear the organ come out of that big sound system. And that's quite a thrill. So hopefully more of that in the future.
Well, I feel like you conjured that up. You know, you're this old soul. So of course you're like going to have this old school, you know, Hollywood opening, you know, and I just know that there's obviously going to be so many more for you. And I want to know for you, Mark, coming on board FENIX, the opportunity to not only get your work out there to a broader audience than you already have, but also the opportunity to connect with collaborators, you know, around the world and across the country, you know, around the world, especially, you know, in the East. You have traveled, but I'm curious what this app is going to be able to do for you and what it means to you as an artist.
Well, I mean, I think it's pretty cool because, I mean, there have been, you know, sort of attempts at this sort of thing in the past, but the technology really wasn't there. And it's just exciting that there is finally a way that we can pull all this together, whether it's our social media and our YouTube, our, you know, our recordings, our videos, and put it all into one place that people can follow you. I think that's pretty cool because just like with a lot of things, for our favorite artists, I mean, we have to really seek out information. We have to go to their website, find out what their tour dates are. Okay, what are, follow what they've been doing on YouTube. Maybe they posted something on Facebook, and you have to check, you know, 10 different places to see what's going on. So I think it's a really cool setup and platform because of that, and I'm eager to see where it goes.
That's awesome, Mark. Well, listen, I can talk to you forever, but it's such a pleasure to be speaking with you today, and I can't wait to continue the conversation. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Hey, thanks for having me, Will.
Bye.
In the digital age, artists and bands struggle to make a living. In fact, only a small number of artists can live off their craft. For the 98% of artists that don't have the luxury of being signed to a label, it's tough. But artists deserve to live off their art. Wherever you are around the world, appreciation of music does not change. FENIX brings bands and their fans together, whilst allowing bands to properly monetize their passion. The FENIX app will directly connect bands and fans with no need for middlemen. We're utilizing the blockchain to give the power back to the artist once and for all. Join FENIX, join the change.